Besides visiting the extremely nice Sumelamonastery, I also learned that we visited the second longest cave in the world. So we're going from Rize all the way to Trabzon. We're in the north of Turkey. In our previous video, we visited Ayder Plateau, which I told you about, which is kind of like a Switzerland of Turkey. From there, we took the car to Rize, visited Rize first because it's the tea capital of Turkey and because we're of course crossing it. We first went to the famous tea garden where we obviously had to drink a tea. And then there's a place nearby where you can see how they make the tea and they dry it. And they even sell some of these handmade tea, which is quite nice. So here you can see the entire process. After that, we visited this T-shaped building, which Turkey is known for if you don't know yet. It's this rose-shaped glass that everyone uses in Turkey. And inside of this there was a roof terrace and then also a museum and a lot of different nice photos of surroundings in the north of Turkey. From there we went to Sandal Balık Köfte, and it's one of those restaurants where you know it's really value for money because we had the iskorpit, which is like a scorpion fish. It was insanely nice, so definitely recommend going to that restaurant if you're in Rize. From there, of course, we had to visit Sumelamonastery, in Turkish known as meryemana. Also seen this a lot, both in movies that we saw recently, but also online. I only knew it actually from the photos from the outside, but I had no idea that it's quite huge from the inside as well. And even when we went, this was in July, a lot of these places were also partially closed because of renovations. But it was incredible to see all of this history and walk around. I think we spent about an hour going into all of these different little rooms. All of the paintings, everything, it's extremely beautiful. I think the only sad thing is that you can really see that there have been in the past a lot of people who went there and just literally crossed out a lot of things, put their names on the wall, which is I think really sad. After Sumelamonastery, which is also again about an hour drive, we went to Trabzon. First time in Trabzon, didn't expect anything. I only know the football club, but definitely didn't expect that Trabzon is such a huge city. It gave me really like Istanbul vibes in a good way. We arrived there and we decided to first stay 2 nights, but eventually ended up staying 3 nights because we had to work there as well. But in the evenings it's really great, and I think we came at the right time. There was a culture festival going on, so there was all these concerts outside and that pinpointed all kinds of cafes and hotspots that you have to visit in the city. So this really helped in enjoying our time for 3 days in Trabzon. So this is a bit more towards the city center, and you can definitely see that some of these parts are a bit more expensive. I think we went to one juice shop and they asked 800 or 400 liras for a pomegranate juice, which is roughly 8-9 euros, which is obviously ridiculous. But other than that, I think a bit outside of this touristic area, it's really great. We went after that to boztepe. It's like this where you have this view of the city. So lots of places to have a coffee, have a tea, enjoy the view. After that we went to another park nearby, had walked around there a bit. So there was really lots of things to do from all of these nice parks that you can visit. I love that you have all of these very local and government-owned cafes and parks where it's a bit more affordable. But if you want to go a bit more bougie, there's also enough to spend your money on. And because we were a little bit done with eating Turkish food all day, we went to a place called Buns and Coffee, I think. They had really good buns, and after that we went to eat künefe. I think it was called jumbo künefe. It was extremely delicious, the künefe, but it felt like 2-3 days after that it was still in our system and had to burn all of those calories that we got into our bodies. But extremely delicious, maybe a bit too delicious. That was our last day in Trabzon, and from there we wanted to drive to Giresun and then to Ordu, cities more towards the west of Turkey. But before that we saw a place on Google Maps called Çal Cave, Çal Mağarası in Turkish, and we learned there actually that this is the second longest cave, and definitely realized that also when we were in the cave, because you can literally walk for maybe 15, maybe about 20 minutes into the cave, and it has like a few different paths. Luckily there's lights, of course, but it's insanely beautiful, and I think quite surprising that there are so many of these kind of hidden spots in Turkey where you suddenly have this kind of a cave, which is the second longest cave in the world. So that was Çal Cave. From there on, we took the car and drove to Giresun. So see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.